The interview which comes next, conducted in February 2024, is with someone who laments the passing of steam, as well as the passing of Killiecrankie Station with the beaching cuts in 1965.
My name is Peter Barr. I live in Killiecrankie. I've been associated with Killiecrankie through family all my life, which goes back to 1942. All through my life I've been interested in railways. I've had a model railway of my own. I still have model railways at home, but not a lot of room to put them up. But I'm very pleased to be here and to associate myself with friends of Blair Atholl station. My model railway I had went up to the age of about 18, and it was Hornby 00, and it was featured in the Meccano magazine, funnily enough, but it was never really based on any particular place. The railway that I have now is just a circle with a train going round and round, because I don't have that much room in my house to put it up on a large scale. Normally we came by car. There was a time when I came up, when we had family, my own family, when we used the car train. We could put our car on the train in Olympia and get off in Perth. Unfortunately, the car train no longer operates, which is disappointing. But I suppose the road network is now improved considerably, which is a compensation. Since then, I use the train quite a lot. I much prefer to travel by train than travel by driving. I sometimes take leisure trips up to Inverness, and I certainly go to Perth by train. But backtracking to the time that I was a young child, a young boy, my grandfather was also quite keen on trains, and we used to get in the train at Killiecrankie and take a trip to Blair Atholl, particularly to experience what it was like to be on a steam train. And we used to go and sit in the guard's van, and they had a fire there, a coal fire, which you could sit round and keep warm while you travelled from Killiecrankie to Blair Atholl, where we'd get off and then go back to Killiecrankie by car. Sometimes we would go to Pitlochry and take the train to Blair Atholl so that we could experience going over the viaduct at Killiecrankie, which was always quite an experience, to look down into the pass of Killiecrankie, and then we were regaled with stories of the Battle of Killiecrankie. So that was when I was probably maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. So that was a novelty for us to go on the steam train. And it's always a sad reflection that steam trains no longer run regularly on the train service. Of course, they do have trains travelling, steam trains travelling up and down the line, which causes a lot of interest locally. And long may it continue. And of course, the whole thrill of clickety-clack along the railway line, and that familiar sound of wheels on rails is something that you never really forget. I couldn't put a date on when diesel trains took over from steam trains, but it was, I suppose it's just part of modern industry that the old ways give way to the new ways, and sometimes the new ways aren't as good as the old ways. But people lament the passing of steam. Diesel, well, I suppose it's quieter, less polluting, and just the way that things develop, and diesel gives way to other forms. Yeah, I have no real feelings about that, other than I lament the passing of steam, and just have to accept the fact that most trains now are diesel. Beaching, yes, well, beaching made a major impression on the rail system, as you all know. I think it was 1963, he wrote his report closing down various stations, including Killiecrankie and others going down south past Ballinluig. There was a station at Ballinluig and a station further south from there and they were all closed down in the interests of economy. And of course, the irony of us all now is that some of these lines that were closed down are being reopened. He did take a very, very strict rule to close down so many trains. So if you look at the rail system before he came and the rail system after he came, the difference between the two is quite considerable. And one of the things that we lament is the passing of Killiecrankie station, which was really quite a little hub and quite a busy little place. In fact, my grandfather was an MP, and every day the train arrived in the morning with the Times newspaper dropped off from London for him to read while he was in Killiecrankie. So it's disappointing to go to a station like Blair Atholl and find that there's no activity going on here on a day-to-day basis.